Welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping in at the Niche Paint Yourself podcast. You noticed it's a little bit different, and we're not together this week. That'll be next week. We got some things going on, personal lives. Those things happen, but we're so excited that you're joining us today. But no one's probably more excited than the guy to my left. It's definitely his kind of day. The hat tells it like it's there. Today's Pokemon Day. Today's Pokemon Tournament Day.
It is
no
Pokemon Day.
No better day for John than Pokemon Tournament Day. So that's going to be the topic today. That's why we're going to try to catch them all. We're going to talk about today. We're going to go over, again, my name is Mike. My co-host, John, obviously to my left, who's the biggest enthusiast of Pokemon of anyone that I know personally.
Nope, not at all. Nope, none. Nope, not at all. Not the fact that I'm wearing Ash Ketchum's hat.
I bought you that
shirt on, which is the Puma.
And you need to show
one.
I need you to, what's on your feet?
My Crocs.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
My Pokemon Crocs.
You like a little bit.
Yeah, I got Pokemon Crocs.
You like
those
Pokemon
for Christmas? A little bit.
You like
not the fact that
just a tad.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
Yeah. Well, as you're excited about that, I'm excited for this new space that we have. It's coming together for the recordings and the live streams. I'm more to come. You'll see that, guys, in future episodes.
I just wish we could have been in person today, but I know
man.
we're trying to do that every first Wednesday of every month. But
life
today
was moving around. It's okay.
Yeah, life is changing. Crazy things are happening at the Schmidt household, but yes.
That's some good stuff. Putting the house on the market.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little crazy.
A little crazy.
The next this week and next week. But yeah. So my spot will be very different.
But you'll be here next week, so
yes,
it'll be good. Let's start off by going over how we kind of got introduced to Pokemon. I think it'd be cool to find out like how we were both introduced to it. We obviously grew up near each other, but we didn't know each other at this point of life. So we both kind of have our own take, and I'm honestly really curious because I don't think I've really ever heard this of like how you got into it. Like what was it like for you? I know sure everyone can have different things in regards to like what that was like, but kick us off of like kind of how you got introduced to it, and we'll go from there.
All right. So how I was introduced to Pokemon was my buddy Dan. I think he got the game or something like that, and I was like, "This game is awesome."
Which one?
This is cool. I think it was blue version. He got blue version.
Okay.
So 1996 is when that came out.
98.
Was it 98?
Yeah. I had to do a little bit of research because I was
2 years off. I think it was 96 in Japan, and I think it came out 2 years later.
You're right, and I only know that because I did my research.
Oh, see, I wasn't wrong. I was just wrong about which country.
Yeah, it was released in Japan, and it was initially called, here's some fun facts. It was initially called something else. It wasn't called, it was Pocket Monsters Red and Pocket Monsters Green.
Yeah, so blue did not exist over in Japan.
No, green was in Japan.
Yeah, it was only in Japan.
Blue
was here. Which still think is weird, but then blue then existed in Japan a little bit later. But you can still get Also, someone had an emulator even before. I remember someone that had an emulator. Sorry, I'm going off on a huge tangent.
You're allowed to go on tangents.
So they had who's a friend of my sister's. They went to high school together. They had it was roughly maybe a year older than me. We like hung out a little bit. Didn't live that far from us. But he downloaded the emulator for green version. And it was all in Japanese. So you had no idea what was going on.
Okay, question. Yeah. Question for those that didn't grow up with the game. For me, it just wasn't my thing. Going around the Zelda, like old school Zelda, it wasn't my thing. A lot of times they're always split. There's like two games that come out at the same time, and I'm guessing like half the Pokemon in that generation are in one and half the Pokemon are another. If there's 3 or 4 versions, what was happening?
I did not hear you at all because you cut out.
Well, that's a bummer. Let's try this again. since there's more than one version that's coming out, and usually they split it half and half.
Mm-hmm.
If there's more than one version, what was being put in green or what was being put in blue if they were splitting the 150?
So
Like, how was that
there's
151 split?
You mean the 150?
151.
It was 150.
When does Mewtwo come?
That's a surprise. Did you not know that?
I'm surprised to hear that now. It was ingrained
Yeah.
in my
So
brain.
if you ever
151.
watched like early on, like if you watch a show, oh, the original 150 Pokemon, and you're like, what are you talking about? There's 151. Surprise.
Huh.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. So the 150 was Mew. 151 is Mewtwo.
I think so. Yeah, if that's how that's looked up.
Okay.
But yeah, either vice versa, flipping those.
All right.
Because Mewtwo was man-made.
Yeah. Okay.
So was Ditto, but that's a whole other story. Surprise.
What?
Yeah, Ditto and Mew have the same capability. Like, yeah.
Was
so
Ditto's
Mew was the
creator?
mistake. Ditto was
Ditto's creator
the
Robin Williams, and did he name his first attempt Flubber?
No. But there's also some conspiracy theories that like that exists because Ditto exists because he was the first genetically made Pokemon. It's like a whole world. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I could go on to that, but yeah. So the difference that they had between like some of the versions of games is like you could only catch in certain Pokemon in certain games.
Right.
So like they would remove some of the Pokemon out of it, yeah.
But
and so you would have to trade back and forth.
Okay. So to be able to get everything together, which is why I have Pokemon Stadium got in there and all that jazz. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Never understood.
So like you could only catch like one, you could only catch Sandshrew, the other one you could only catch Mankey, the other one you could only catch Vulpix, the other one you couldn't catch Growlithe.
I just knew it was split. That's really what I knew.
Yeah. So there's certain Pokemon. So like 2 fire types, like you could only catch Vulpix, you can only catch Growlithe. Also, weird thing is you had Leaf Stones, you had a Leaf Stone, Firestone, and Firestone, those 3 stones, but there's more after that.
Why were there tires in the game?
Funny. No. Thanks. I appreciate that. But like that was the weird thing is like why don't we have like because you can evolve Eevee into Flareon, Vaporeon, Waterstone, and Jolteon, but you have a Leaf Stone which you need to evolve. Oh, what was it again? There's certain Pokemons, but like why don't you have Flareon or Leafeon? Like that's weird. Leafeon doesn't come to like way later in the games.
I know the early 2000s Mike probably knows who you were talking about. Present day Mike. I got like some of the basics down.
Pikachu.
Man, I got Pikachu. I got Bulbasaur. I got Squirtle. Charmander. I got those, man. Hitmonchamp. Hitmonchamp. Don't even got that right. See, that's what I'm saying.
There's Chop, Machoke, Machamp. Also, you have Hitmonlee.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question.
I'm like,
so we went on a real tangent. Did you like start playing the game because Dan was playing it? Did you?
So I got it as a birthday gift. So
on Game Boy. You got
Game Boy.
Which one?
Yeah. So I got Game Boy, like the Game Boy Color.
No. I'm saying like which color? Which card?
Red.
So you got red first. Okay.
So I got red, then I got blue. Dude, I can go down the whole list of what Pokemon games I got. I can actually give you what I don't have. That would probably be the easiest.
Maybe a shorter list.
Way easier.
Well, we'll go into it. All right, I gotta ask you a crazy question.
Shoot.
What do you think of all time? What do you think is the highest selling Pokemon game? Now, I will say when I did the research on this, they always group them together. They always group them together with the other ones, and I really wish I could get how much sold of each color, or silver, gold, whatever, the things. However they broke it up. There's really a breakdown.
Okay,
but I want to know if you know.
I want to know
what the highest is.
The highest, it's either gonna be it's one of the I think it's either it's gonna be one of the newer games. I'd say newer, it's in the middle of the road, like early
You think it's the highest
2010s.
selling one of all time? Because I got the top 10 for you.
I could easily probably get in the top 5 with my guess.
All
Easily.
right, you think you got the top 5 down? Go. Top 5.
I don't
what do you
think
it is?
top 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I really want to go with Soul Silver, Heart Gold is definitely in the top 5.
Okay, let's see. Soul Silver is. Let's take a look. Gold Silver is number 3.
Is it just gold and silver?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would have went with Heart Gold and Heart Silver are remakes of the original Game Boy ones. So I would have said Gold and Silver was B. Those are them right there, because those games are amazing. They're better than the originals are good, but if I had to choose a game to play over and over and over again, it would be Gold and Silver and Crystal. Because
which gen was that?
That was Gen 2.
I followed for a little bit with Gen 2, but after that, like
so Gen 2,
fizzled.
you can go play in your Johto, and then you can go to Kanto. So Kanto is where the first games are played, like is Kanto region. Johto, but you can go back and go through Kanto. So you can go back through 2 different maps. It's awesome. There's no other game that does that.
All right.
So
was that Game Boy Advance?
Game Boy.
What was that on?
Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color. So that was Gen 2. That makes sense. Okay, so that's number 3
that's
though.
3.
That tandem is 3.
3. See, I was close. The only reason I went with the newer ones because a lot of people didn't have the older. Like I'm just thinking, like
you would
now
you would be surprised. Now again, this is
I would probably say
top
yellow
10 stuff.
version.
Again, this is a tandem. They're all tandems. You got
so
gold,
it's red,
silver,
blue.
Okay.
It's yellow. It's red, blue is probably in the top with yellow.
So red and blue is number 1, best selling all time.
Yep.
It is actually sold. Looks like, and now I'm sure this is. If you can see this at a couple of different places, but they sold 31.36 million units of those games.
Holy crap!
That is the highest.
Lot.
It was released in '96. And it wasn't really over into the U.S. until '98, like we mentioned earlier.
That's crazy.
That is the highest selling of all time, that tandem. So you got 2 of the top 5 down. What else do you think is in top 5?
Yellow.
Got quick fire. Yellow. Yellow's going to be lumped in with red and blue.
That's so dumb. It's so different.
I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, but every
it's
outlet
such a different game. It's the same game but different. Okay. Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire.
Ruby and Sapphire is number 7, unfortunately.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Diamond and Pearl.
Diamond and Pearl is number 5. Number 5.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I would have put.
So you got 1, 3, and 5 right now. 1, 3, and 5.
So I just need 2 and 4. I'm stupid. X and Y.
X and Y is number 6. So,
dang.
No.
X and Y is a very good game because that made me come back into Pokemon like hardcore again. Because some of the games I just could not get back into. Like, don't tell me White is up there, White or Black.
That's number 9.
Thank God. That's not a great game. I didn't like it. It's not one of my favorites.
And this is in regards to not saying game listing of best guest game. This is going off sales.
Oh, sales?
I'm going off of sales.
Is it just games or is it like Pokemon Pinball, Pokemon Stadium in that?
This is just the when they're playing through, when there's tandem of when you get to play more than one game. This is where that's going through.
That's Gen 4.
So you still got 2 more.
Sword and Shield?
Sword and Shield's number 2. Sword and Shield's number 2. So you got one more. One more on the top 5.
Top 5. One more. So number 4. Arceus? No.
Arceus is going to be by itself, so no.
Okay. I just didn't know. I was like trying to think of, dude, Sword and Shield's a fairly newer game. Oh, don't is
Sword
it?
and Shield is number 2, and they have sold
That's
25.68 million
I mean, that's not
units.
surprising at all because it is a fun game.
I mean,
Um,
it's still like
you
6-ish
said
million less.
you said X and Y was number 6.
Yes.
Um, X and
That was
Y.
X and Y was
And you is
16.45
it
million
black?
units.
Oh, is it Sun and Moon?
Sun and Moon is number 8.
Okay.
It sold 16.18 million units, at least 2016.
Just trying to think where you said X and Y. I'm just trying to run through them all through my head right now. If I had a list in front of me, it's very hard to run through just my head.
I'm
Um,
surprised that you haven't gotten this, but I will say it's not. This may surprise you. Maybe it won't, but maybe because of the console it was on,
oh,
it
is
makes
it
sense that
is
it sold well.
oh is it Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee?
Actually, that's number 10. So
Okay.
yeah, that's number 10. So you got 10 Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. 9 was Black and White.
White.
You give Sun and Moon? Yeah, you did that. That was
Yeah,
number
Sun and
8.
Moon is number 8.
X and Y
X and Y is 6.
6. Um, you got you said Diamond and Pearl, right?
Diamond and
That was
Pearl.
5.
4 I don't have.
4 you don't have. Gold and Silver was
3 Silver
3.
is 3.
You said Sword and Shield
Sword and Shield is number 2.
2. Red and
And
blue
then
and green and yellow number 1.
okay. What who okay, hold on.
You're missing. I'm really surprised you're missing this.
Is it black 2, white 2?
No, not even top 10.
All right. Why am I not? Why is it platinum?
No. And
Platinum would be
this game
this-
released this decade. I'll give you that hint.
Is it
It
is
sold 20.61 million units.
it Scarlet and Violet? I have not played it yet, so that's the reason why I don't know.
Scarlet and Violet, 20.61 units.
That's
so there's
number
your top
4.
10. There's your top 10.
The starters look like trash.
Oh, there's also like bikes in it, I guess. So
Yeah, the legendary Pokemon are bikes. Yeah, let's not. I don't want to talk about it.
yeah. So there's that.
I don't own it. I want to own it so I could just play it so I know. Also, I was very disappointed of how they did. Yeah, the remakes of Diamond and Pearl, awful. Because they did a way better job with Ruby and Sapphire. Remakes on the 3DS, which looked better, and it basically just made a more cutesy version of the overlooked normal playthrough. And I'm like, but yet whenever you go into battles, it was like the newer style, and I'm like, or trying to catch Pokemon, I'm like, why don't you have this throughout? I digress. Like I could go on and trash it, but what? Hey, look at this. Ooh. Oh.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything to open up.
Oh
but I
no,
have
but
some
you
whiskey.
got some good stuff.
All right. So
Bruh.
who makes bruhaha?
Land Grant.
Of course.
You have a guess. What is it?
IPA. Red IPA.
Hopefully, there you go. Can you see it?
Yes, I could. 100% cheated. Well, I figured it'd be an IPA, but I was like, does it tell me? Okay. So for me, what Pokemon started, it was watching a TV show, and it was not playing.
I have a thing. Cards. I had cards first before the game.
You had cards for the game?
Yeah.
I remember seeing the show first.
Cards got banned from my school, man, and I was in
course they
second
did.
grade. They got banned. We had kids getting fights over it. But anyway, sorry.
That happens now. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. It's adults now. It's not kids at school.
Well, I've heard stuff still happening with kids at school with Pokemon cards, but I mean, depends on school, I'm sure. But there was a TV show. I think I've watched like the first 5-10 episodes, probably the most, and that's, I mean, it's been a long time, but um, I watched the show first. I remember going to Toys R Us, buying my first pack of cards. I remember getting Mewtwo was on the front of that. My dad was actually he used to like be a card vendor for like sports cards. That was way before I was born. But it was cool, like bond with my dad over that. Of like, he liked the collecting hobby, and so then I did that. And as you are the well-received recipient of all of my Pokemon cards,
Oh, and all your Pokemon stuff. Yeah.
oh, it was literally just like,
It hurt. It hurt.
um,
Just kidding.
I knew that it went to a good home. I knew that you'd enjoy it, and it would, you wouldn't ever get rid
It
of
wouldn't
so,
go it's not going to go anywhere unless
I knew
like
that.
someone offers me a boatload of money off of one card, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I collected all kinds of stuff for a while. I don't remember really like the fascination of opening up packs. Like I don't remember that, but I remember opening up first
I have
editions.
the best story.
I remember
best
going
story of
to
opening a pack.
Burger King and trading cards, and they like had the Burger King cards, but everyone went to trade real cards.
I have Burger King cards. I still have them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I have yours, and then I have mine.
Yeah, but that's what I played. Like I attempted to play the card game and collected mostly. I mean, the internet wasn't what it was now. It's not what it was. It's not what it is now.
No.
And I played Pokemon Stadium because I enjoyed that. I played Pokemon Snap because I enjoyed that. I just enjoyed the graphics way more, and so I could get behind it. But that's really all my.
You would probably like playing Arceus because it's a way different game mode, and it's also like you have to hide from the Pokemon. Like remember in the
It's funny. It's funny to me because we made this connection before, but the way that Pokemon started out is it was like old Zelda, and now it feels like it's new Zelda. And I mean that in like
Zelda,
I mean that in a
Zelda
flattering way.
But Zelda looks exactly the same now too.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same type of gameplay.
If you think Nintendo off of those are what they're known for, and Mario was, but that was a side scroller. But yeah.
It's I don't know. There's a lot there for sure.
Did you ever own the games, like the actual like Game Boy?
I never got into that. I never wanted them. I couldn't get behind how.
I think it's because like the infatuation with the show. I don't know if like the show came out. I know the show's later, like when it came out, because I think it was 2000.
I just didn't like the walking around and like hoping you'd run into something. It's I don't know.
That's the whole.
I know.
Come on. It's the thrill of the hunt.
It was the graphics behind it. I was just like, eh. Like,
now it's even got crazier that you can shiny hunt now, and how you can do certain things. Then now you have to like in the new games, like you have to make this certain meal to eat to this Pokemon, and I'm like,
I'm telling you,
come on, like this is
so.
And you have to have this attribute to have this move, and I'm like, I'm like the simple playthrough person. Like I'll catch this Pokemon, don't care what the attributes are. I don't need the perfect thing. I don't go compete. If I did, I would care about that. Does that make sense? Like if I actually went to Pokemon tournaments and I'm going to a Pokemon tournament to play somebody, I want to boost all my stats to have all this. That's cool. I'll go find shinies. That's fun. If I complete the game, I want to run through it, come find some shinies. I'll do that. But I like to play through the story, and like I don't know.
There's more to it there.
And also, I think the reason why I like Pokemon so much is that was like how my mom was like growing up. I mean, viewers don't know this, or anyone like my people know who I am, know that I have this, but I'm dyslexic. So Pokemon, my mom would have me read out loud what the screen was saying, and that's how I was reading and how I was trying to do better.
So it helped. It was a huge helpful tool for you to continue to like succeed in life. Like you needed that. And it was
so it was like one of those things. It was weird thing.
Yeah.
My mom was like,
I didn't know that.
How can you read this so well? But when I hand you a textbook in school, like you don't. And
Not
also,
fun.
Also, my random knowledge, it happened today. So, like, all my nerd knowledge is coming out today. So, we were at my father-in-law's today because I took the day off to hang out with Andrew and help out with that. And but I we were over at my father-in-law's grabbing some stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to take a cactus work because he have cactuses, but whatever." So I was like, "I'll take a cactus work." I was like, "Oh, this one reminds me of Neville's." Sorry, we're totally going off basis, but my random nerd stuff of like,
Good.
"Hey, this cactus looks like Neville Longbottom's plant from Harry Potter and Order of Phoenix," and they're like, they both looked at me like, "There's a plant in that," and I go, "What are you talking about? It's the plant that has like it moves and it's alive and it's right there when you." And I'm like, so I literally go find the picture of it and send it to both of them. I'm like, "See, I wasn't crazy." And her dad goes, "Man, John, you have some great knowledge. Just pulling out stuff out of your butt."
Just need to go trivia. You just need to
I'm
go
like, "No,
Neat Schmidt trivia.
dude, I don't know. It's just the random stuff that I remember or that I want to remember. It's that." But also, we did find out that Stanford University says there's a special place in my brain that has for Pokemon. Stanford. Well, I mean, it's a pretty smart school.
Pretty smart school. They are some trees as a mascot, which is a whole another conversation for another day.
But yet, it's called a cardinal.
Yeah, they didn't make a bunch of that. Not all their decisions were smart. We'll leave it at that.
Sure.
Yeah, that does not make sense to me.
No.
But like, I don't know, man. I
mean, I can see why you wouldn't get into it. I can see that. Pokemon's not for everyone, but yet it is.
I enjoyed parts of it though. Like I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed some of the other games. But I
mean, there's so much other games off of that. Like you would probably like
if they would have made an N64 game that did the same stuff, I would have been all over it. Would have been all over it.
They kind of did.
Well, I mean,
Pokemon Stadium is that.
Sure. And I played the crap out of it.
And then you had Pokemon Coliseum for the GameCube. You had what else? You had Pokemon XD. XD is
So I remember renting Pokemon Stadium from Blockbuster, and it like came with the packs. You could add your things. My dad's like, "Do you need this?" I'm like, "No, I don't like that game. I like this game."
But yeah, you needed the pack to do all that stuff. I mean, you could still use their Pokemon, but like if you beefed up your own,
it would have been way more fun if I could have used my own Pokemon that I had to like go after.
Yeah,
and
also you can use the glitches in the red and blue. I mean, red and blue. There's glitches that you can get some cool stuff, like the Mew glitch. Do you know about that, or is that one of your
all kinds of things?
It's not underneath the truck by St. Anne's. No, it's not there. I know how to do it.
All right. So you obviously have a wealth of knowledge. I want to point out one more thing, then we're going to get in this bracket because that's what we're doing this month. It's bracket month. Tis the season.
Tis the season of March, and it's going to be the March Madness of the Neely Schmidt Yourself podcast.
I need to know. I need you to tell the people at home, the 5 people that probably watch. I need you to tell them.
The 5 people that probably watch. You're probably
need you to tell them. And if there's more than that, I thank all of you. I need you to tell the folks that do watch this podcast or eventually listen to this podcast about going to the Pokemon Center. The floor is yours.
Oh my god!
The floor is yours.
So, I'm going right. I'm dead. I got the whole screen.
You to tell the folks at home.
Oh my gosh. Go. Okay, so I saw that it was coming. Also, Riley, our daughter, was 11 days old. Mind you, she was 11. She was 11 days old. I was off work.
God bless your wife.
Andrew is the one that was like, I want to go to this so bad. And she goes, one day, she goes, "Oh, hey, because you had to sign up." And I'm like, "Oh, you got to sign up." I couldn't find any times. They were all like, you had to do a queue to get in there, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, so she goes, "Hey, I got on and I found that there was a queue. We can get in at 3:00 or something like that." And I was like, "What are you talking about? There was nothing. Like, I couldn't find anything." She goes, "Yeah, I just got on today and they had it. We're going to go today." And I'm like, "We're all going to go?" She goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Sweet." Because Andrew was just thinking like, I just want to go by myself or with someone else. And I'm like, "No, I want all of us to go." Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about Pokemon. Riley doesn't obviously know anything about Pokemon. She's 11 days old. But yeah, we took
She
our
knew
11
everything.
day.
So.
She did. But it was it was awesome. Like just walking through, I was just in awe. I was in there for at least 2 hours or more, just walking around. Like I'd be like, "Oh, look at this! Oh, look at this! Oh, look at this over here!" And it was just, and then I'd circle back. It was super funny. I think my favorite thing was like they have the Squashmallows, and they had Togepi there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do we really need one? I was like, I want one just because. And then I was telling Andrea about like, hey, like they've had these, this one, this one, and they're all gone. Like people are selling them for stupid money. Like that's not what I want it for. I wanted to give it to Riley because I think this would be a fun thing that she has. It's a baby Pokemon. Togepi's a baby Pokemon. Yeah. She can have it. And she goes, oh, okay. I was like, I thought about it. And she goes, nah. I was like, but we don't need to spend it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like looking at like they have like these like little plushies that you can get. They have all these other ones. So I got Cyndaquil. I'm looking at all these, and then I look over at Andrea, and she goes, "Yeah, I had to get it." And she's holding Togepi, the Squashmallow. I'm like, "What did you have to get it?" She goes, "After you talked to me about it, and like how popular it is, like 3 people went up and like they took them all, and then there was one left, so I grabbed it. They were gone. We literally got the last one."
Love it.
Yeah, and then like they had the Team Rocket stuff. That's when they launched the new Team Rocket line, and all that. What else? I got a pack of cards, which I still have not opened yet. And also got because I bought something at the thing. I got this sealed packaged card that I still have not opened. It's a promo card, probably. Have not opened it. I don't know why I've never not opened it. I don't know. I have Ancient Muse that I haven't opened, but it was just so much fun.
I like Ancient Mew.
Yeah, Ancient Mew is a cool card.
It's a really cool card.
I have like 3 of those that are sealed.
I think I might have given you 1 or 2 that were sealed.
Yeah, you gave me. I had 1 and you gave me 2. I think I have 3 total. But it was such a fun experience, and Andrew's just like, "Oh my gosh!" But it was so cool how they were doing it and how well they did it.
Yeah.
Because they were doing the queues that you can only get on these certain times, and they were only letting a certain amount of people in too. So they were clocking people coming out and letting people in. So it did not seem like it was packed.
You could enjoy yourself. You didn't feel cramped and all that. Yeah, good. Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. There's so much. Like I could have spent so much money, and I mean I did, but I didn't.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Oh, it could have been way worse. But they had like these, like I said, like the little. They had like they were called. I think they called them cuties. It was what they're called, and they're like little plushies. But they had like Cyndaquil. You could get Pikachu, Charm. I don't think they had Charmander because I was trying to find that. But you could get all these different. And they're like this big. They're not very big at all.
They're tiny. Yeah,
they're very super tiny. And I got Cyndaquil because Cyndaquil is one of my other favorite fire starters. Also, we could go this. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Mine?
Yeah, like just random. I don't care. Like, what is it? Also, I have a feeling I know what it is, but I want to know what yours is.
I like Gyarados a lot, which is really random.
No, it's not. That's not random. Nope, it's not random at all.
It's probably Mew, not Mewtwo. Yeah. But Mew's definitely up there. Dragonite might be up there.
Okay.
I mean the base set it's always got a special.
The original, the OG, the Gen 1.
Yeah. Those will
Gen
always.
1 is still. They will always be the good hits.
But I probably those. I mean, I could always say like the normal ones like that. Like but I don't know. I want to go with that. Let's go with that. Do you have a type? I'm gonna after I ask you this question, we're gonna get in this tournament. We're not.
It's hard. It's so hard. It all depends what I'm doing. I asked you this. You've asked this before. It's depending on what. Am I going to the Elite Four? Am I going to battle Brock? Am I going to battle Misty?
The final 4 is later this month, John. Oh, is that different? Sorry,
Yeah,
that's different.
It's a little
It's
different.
Okay. Speaking of tournaments, let's get into it. Let's get into this tournament. You haven't seen this bracket.
I have not
Thank
seen
you
this.
so much, Andrew, for making this. Where my wife is going to be watching in. She's going to get us new brackets to get made as we go. We're going to make this work. Thanks to the power of our wives and the producers that help support this show. And I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share this and let you see what we have here.
Well, I know what one side and what the other side is.
I know you do, but you don't know what the matchups are. And here we go.
Don't know what the matchups are. I know what the one sides are versus the other side.
All right.
Ooh.
To start off, we have trading cards versus TV shows. You get to go first because it just makes sense. I need to hear your argument.
I get to go first?
You get to go first.
Why do I get to go first? I think you should go first because you don't have the knowledge that I do.
I mean, all right, I'll go first. I'm gonna say whatever came first probably should win. I mean, for me, I think the trading cards is why people like the show.
Okay.
I think that was the thing that when I think of Pokemon, the first thing I think of is what? Trading cards. Not the show, not the games. I think cards. And I think for that reason alone, I'm saying trading cards. I can understand the argument for TV show. Obviously, that was my first introduction, but it's not what I initially think of.
That one's a tough one because the shows are actually super rewatchable. So the cards are going. They're so good, but I agree with you that the cards have to go. The cards have to move on. Cards beat the show.
Okay, cards move on. Pokemon Go, Pokemon Snap. I have an answer here, but
I know what your answer is, and you're wrong.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, what?
You're wrong. But go ahead.
You don't even play Pokemon Go anymore.
I don't. That's because I need to add more storage and I don't want to spend money.
So I'm hearing you got to spend money and you need more storage, but you could still play Pokemon Snap and enjoy the heck out of it. It's a photography game. What other photography game is out there?
You can do photography with Pokemon Go now. You can take pictures of your Pokemon with you.
But they're not real, John. I don't get to run around this cool bumper thing, move around on this trail and make all these things and throw
like Jurassic World.
It's like Jurassic World before Jurassic World.
I know. I think they took that. But I think Pokemon Go, because it's out, there's only 2 Pokemon Snap games. There's 1 and 2. Pokemon Go.
They just released the second one.
Did you know Pokemon Go was a joke at first, right?
What do you mean it was a joke? Explain.
So Pokemon Go was a fluke. Not a fluke, but on April Fool's back, I forget whenever, Google Maps on April Fool's Day posted Pokemon randomly on the Google Maps. And everyone was all about it. So they created Pokemon Go.
I need to tell you something. I'm gonna pause right here, and I'm gonna tell you, and I can tell you, I'm gonna ask you. Do you know how much Pokemon as a brand is worth? I need you to know. I need you to answer that.
In the trillions.
No, it's not. But it's
dang.
It's up there.
I'd go billion. It would probably go. I would 50 billion.
It's almost double.
So
Pokemon is an estimated worth of $92.121 billion evaluation as part of the top 25 highest grossing media franchises of all time.
It's just crazy
that it's that high.
They just removed Ash Ketchum. That
so
explains
the fact that Pokemon Go can work, like, I'm going to tell you some of the other things that are on this list that I'm seeing here. Of course, Disney owns a lot of them. But Hello Kitty is next on this list. I'm showing here is $80.026 billion. Had no idea it was worth that much. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised it's that high. Winnie the Pooh. I'm curious how this evaluation is going to go because now it's over 100 years old and they've lost some of the property aspects to it due to the fair use and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But Winnie the Pooh is basically 75 billion. Mickey
That's
Mouse
crazy.
is like 70.5 billion. Star Wars is 65.631 billion. And I don't even know. It's a manga. This is the next one. It's Pan. I don't know anything about it. It's worth 60.285 billion. But those are some of the top franchises there, which is crazy. Crazy. But this is why Pokemon Go works. Pokemon Go works because it's able to have random Google things done, and it works.
It works, and that's the reason why I feel like it has to move on, is because of how popular it is and how crazy it's gone.
I will let Pokemon Go on, and I will say why it goes on is because it has a much bigger following. More people who are common fans probably got involved with it.
Do you know why Pokemon Snap got
Snap.
created? Do you know why
No.
Pokemon Snap got created?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever? Well, if you ever watch the show, there's a character that follows Ash and Misty because Brock leaves to go be a breeder to breed
Weird
Pokemon,
job.
and then that's what he always wanted to be. He said he wanted to be like when he first left and ventured with Ash. Also, he's in love with every Officer Jenny or Nurse
Do you
Joy.
remember that being a thing?
Yep, or any pretty girl. But yeah, Pokemon Go definitely has to move on. But anyway, it's the Pokemon Snap. There's a character, I want to say it's Tracy is his name, and that he takes photos. So that's who the character in the Pokemon Snap on the N64 is Tracy. I want to say it's Tracy.
Okay.
And he's from the Orange Islands, when a game that doesn't exist that actually follows after Ash Lee through the Kanto and goes through like the tournament and stuff. After that, it goes to the Orange Islands. Those games don't exist in the show. It's only in the shows. Make the Orange Islands. I was excited about when they made.
They might, man.
Sun and Moon. No, they haven't yet. They're not going to. They should have.
Did I tell you how much the franchise is worth?
Yeah. Do you know how much the franchise is also messed up, though? Because we're diehard Pokemon fans, we'll buy the next game.
So what you're telling me is it's got a Madden problem.
Mm-hmm.
I had this same thought because I've heard people complain because that's how the whole what is it, Pal World or whatever has come up. Like there's so many elements from this random game that people are getting aspects to it of what they want Pokemon to maybe be, or it's different enough from Pokemon, but
it is different enough.
But yeah, man, people are flocking to this, but I mean, a lot of that's on the, on the coattails of Pokemon, but it's also different enough. And look, if you're not innovating, you're not making it better.
That's the reason why Arceus was a very cool game, because you have to build your own Pokeballs now. You have to run around. It's so fun. It's a different thing. You have to run away from angry Pokemon, which is crazy, or Pokemon chase you and try to beat you up. It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of like bears in the woods,
Pretty much. But you're trying to create the first Pokedex. You're trying to train Pokemon. You're trying to be there's an academy there. It's so much fun. I feel like you would enjoy playing.
I probably would. I just need to find time to do that, but I probably would.
Who has time?
All right, let's get to the rest of this tournament. Let me pull this back up. Let's pull this back up. No, you don't need to apologize. Let's get into this. It's great. Let's see here. We got other side of the bracket. We got Let's Go Pikachu versus Diamond and Pearl. I have an opinion on this, and I shouldn't have, but I'm just assuming that one is better than the other, and I'm assuming that's Diamond and Pearl. I don't know if I'm
agreeing.
Right. Cool.
So Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are based off the same thing. One, you start off with Pikachu. The other one, you start off with Eevee. But it's basically the original map of Kanto, but also links up with Pokemon Go. So it's kind of like Pokemon Go access, and you can still combine Let's Go Get It, Let's Go, and Pokemon Go is connected.
I didn't.
So it's kind of cool. But if you're going old school games, Diamond and Pearl is where it's at. Like
Because Diamond and Pearl was on what system?
DS.
Okay. I feel like the most games were on the DS. Now that I think about
Then
it, maybe I'm wrong.
they did bright shiny. Oh, I forget. They redid Diamond and Pearl, and they're good. I like the redone. But it's basically the same map, nothing different. But it's good. But I like the storyline. It's a very long playthrough. But yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, cool. Diamond and Pearl moves on. We got Sun and Moon versus Yellow. I already have an opinion on this, and that Yellow moves on. It's the classic.
Yes.
It's one of it's simple. All right.
It's the one that
was
you
easy.
get Pikachu. You get Pikachu right off the beginning. It's either Pikachu or Eevee. And then you're running through, and then like you read this trainer goes, "Oh, I can't take care of this Charmander anymore. Here, I'm gonna give it to you because you seem like a good trainer." Then you get Charmander. "Oh, I can't take care of this Squirtle. Here's Squirtle to you. Oh, Bulbasaur's in this daycare, but yet he's never had an owner. Here you go. Here's Bulbasaur." So you get everybody. It is awesome, and it's like the games. Pikachu follows you the whole time. It's awesome, and you can turn around and talk to Pikachu. It's fun. It's different than Red and Blue. It should not. It's in its own category.
Okay. Question. Does Pika
Sorry.
just say Pika Pika when you ask it?
It does.
Are you supposed to know what it says, like R2D2?
You know.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed.
It doesn't. It just says it's happy to be. It also says like Pikachu's very happy that you are talking to him, or Pikachu's very happy with you. Like in the beginning of the game, like Pikachu's angry. Pikachu does not like you right now. Like in the show, how Pikachu did not like Ash.
Right.
It starts off like that. Yeah. So I mean, it's the same platform of the game.
Same premise.
It's the same premise of the game, but it's based off of like kind of like the show in a way. So it's totally different.
All right.
Go ahead.
I got it moves on, obviously. I got some more fun facts for you. I need you to answer a question. Do you want to know about some trading cards, or do you want to know about the movie? Because that's what we're going into next.
Both.
All right, done. Fine, we'll knock them both out. What do you want? We're gonna do movie first.
Movie first, definitely.
Pokemon, the first movie that released, I believe, in 1998. Do you want to know how much money that movie made?
Oh,
on a budget of $5 million.
Budget of $5 million. That movie probably made. I would say. You mean opening weekend or just overall in general?
Overall box office, what it made.
$1 billion.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. There are few movies ever all time that have made $1 billion, and it's not.
I know. I would say you said 5 million to make it.
Do you think it's?
I bet you it made 20 million.
Okay. How about I'm going to ask you this: do you think it made more? Over under? Do you think it was over under 200 million?
Under, but not by much.
Do you think it was over under 135 million?
I would say. See, I want to say under, but I want to say it's over that.
All right, over under. Do you think it's more than? Do you think it's over under than 160 million?
Over under? On par. Just kidding. I would say over.
Okay. Over under. You're getting closer. Over under 170 million.
Ooh. Under.
It's slightly over at 172.7.
I was thinking, because you said what, 165? Was that?
I said the last one I said was 170. But
no, before that.
I said 160.
Okay, so I was thinking 168. I don't think it was over.
Not that far off, but 172.7 million.
And they had a budget of $5 million.
On a budget of $5 million. And
That's crazy.
Netflix redid the movie and
Mm-hmm.
did like a. I watched
There's
it
more
once.
CGI stuff. It's
It
not
was
bad.
good. I liked it.
Also, that was a movie I cried. I cried in that movie.
And when you were a kid,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I believe that. All right. I need to know what is the most expensive Pokemon card of all time.
It's a Charizard.
The site that I found actually
No,
said that it
it's
was
probably
not.
not.
It was a
It's
one-off.
probably some. It's probably like a trainer card that
It
only
is.
existed. Like
There
it
is
has a.
a.
Is it a trainer card?
There is a card that, of course, Logan Paul owns, and it's
Go figure.
a Pikachu Illustrator card. There's only one of it.
Mm-hmm.
It sold for $5,275,000. Don't know why.
Does he still own it, or did he sell that?
Still owns it. Still owns it. It's one of one.
Is it it's a Pikachu or a trainer card?
Pikachu Illustrator card. I don't know anything about it. I can't even see what it
Neither.
looks like. How much do you think would the more common card that more people would have had their actual hands on? What do you think is the most expensive card outside of that?
It'd be Charizard.
What kind of Charizard?
Oh, I want to say it's the original Charizard,
Okay.
probably first edition, Shadowless.
Yep.
What
do you think the grade was on it?
I want to say a 10.
Yeah, Gem Mint 10 by PSA, first edition, Shadowless, Charizard. At auction,
It was probably
sold
it was
the
up.
highest. And
I don't think it reached a mil, did it?
the current estimated value is $420,000.
Yeah, it's on a mil. I knew it was going to be close to that. I was either thinking between. I was actually less than I was thinking. I was thinking about like it was just over half a mil, like it's like
I mean, its
550.
current evaluation is at that. Okay.
But that if are you surprised I knew that? Right, Charizard is probably hands down everyone's. Also, everyone who's I'm a huge Charmander, Charizard fan. That's my favorite Pokemon. Will ever be my favorite Pokemon. I've heard some stories. The reason why like people that like Charmander or Charizard are tools. I've heard that story. But
I don't mind Charizard. I mean, if there's any card that I could own, it'd be that. But that's just because everyone wants it. All right. We're gonna get through the rest of this tournament.
Go ahead.
We're gonna figure out.
I know this might be a longer episode. Sorry.
It's all right. We're gonna power through this. Let's see here. We have Gold and Silver versus Legends Arceus. I want to say Arceus because it's probably what I would enjoy the most, just because the graphics are so much better. And Gold and Silver, correct me if I'm wrong, was on Game Boy.
Yeah.
So my vote is Arceus, but that's just because
that was a tough one.
It
is tough, but if I have to go nostalgic and it's there, I'm reaching for Gold and Silver.
I just don't see how it eventually beats Red and Blue.
It's hard.
So for my vote's Arceus. Yours is Gold and Silver. I'll let you go on. But
I mean, that one's a tough one. I see why that is. But also, I see Gold and Silver beating Red and Blue eventually. I have reasons. I have reasons.
All right. Well, then I will definitely let it go on because it can't not. And then Red and Blue is obviously moving on to this other one, and we got that.
I mean, Ruby and Sapphire are really fun games, but when it comes down to I mean, it's the third gen, so I mean, going to the original, nah, you can't. Nah, doesn't hold a candle to it.
All right, so we've gone through a lot.
We did the other bottom.
The other side. We're gonna go to the other side right now. And I'm gonna share this. Go back to that. We have the bottom half to do here. We have Pokemon Stadium versus Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Now, I'm assuming this is the game and not the movie, correct? I'm gonna go with it's the game. Because if it's the
I forgot that.
movie,
Yeah,
I'm you know what? For funsies, let's say it's
let's
the
do it. The
movie.
movie. I
Let's go
think
the
it's the
movie.
movie.
Let's go with movie over game versus Pokemon Stadium because that's a way harder discussion.
Ooh, that's pretty hard because I loved Detective Pikachu the movie.
We saw that movie in theaters. It was fantastic, and it made
It was
me. And
great.
it was the first time I've enjoyed Pokemon, probably since I was a kid. It was just different. It was new. I knew enough after not being really part of it for a
Yeah.
while. Pokemon Stadium has, a place of my childhood. I still own it. Like, I love it. So that's, I don't know, where are you at? Because I really could flip either way here.
Same.
Would
I
you
think you have
include Pokemon Stadium 2 in this? Like Pokemon Stadiums? Because
too different, man. Too different.
we don't have another one on the list. So if we're putting these in here, I don't know. I'm trying to like give it one way or another. Like, how can we stack this together?
So Pokemon Stadium is very cool, is because you can get, if you beat the game itself, you get different levels that you can actually play the game in triple speed.
Oh,
So
didn't know that.
yes, because how long it takes you to walk in the games, no matter what, takes forever.
So that's pretty great. If you play the game, it makes a lot of sense. It's helpful.
And then they have mini games within that, also in Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the mini games. They were basically like Mario Party but Pokemon, and it was
It was great.
fantastic.
I hated the Clefairy one. I was always so bad at that one.
I was really bad at that one. The one with the you're talking about the one with the teaching, and then there's just the chalkboard,
and you have to do all the moves. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Where you at?
Pokemon Stadium.
All right. Pokemon Stadium.
That's hard. That's so hard.
I'm literally.
It's nostalgic. Like I'm leaning towards more that way. Nostalgia.
It's a lot more connected, where it brought the nostalgia of Pokemon back to me with Pokemon Detective Pikachu. But like, if it wasn't this matchup, it might have made it further for me.
I would agree on that one. Like if we were talking the next thing, like clothing to Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like,
yeah,
you're moving that on.
Yeah.
So cool. Clothing and memorabilia.
I have an answer, but you can go first.
I want your thoughts.
I think you're going to say memorabilia, and I think that's what you're going to want to go with. And I say you want to go with that because, yes, you have some clothing, but you have all those Tommy toys. You have, the Burger King things, there's so much more about that hobby and being a fan of Pokemon that's about the memorabilia over the clothing. I think the clothing is like an offshoot of memorabilia. And so because of that, I think memorabilia it hits harder than clothing.
Absolutely.
Literally you have 3 things on right now, but I think of that more memorabilia, it's, I don't know, it's got that flavor.
Yeah. No, I was gonna go memorabilia on that one.
Okay.
Just because you do have all this other stuff. Clothing is awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel like clothing came so much later. Does that make sense?
I don't really remember a lot of the code.
I had there was t-shirts.
There was stuff. T-shirts. I remember so much more toys. I remember the Burger King toys, the little Pokemon shooter thing with I don't know why that was a thing.
It was a Game Boy, then you could shoot a Master Ball out of it. Yeah, it was weird. But then you also had the water toys. So I have a Tentacruel that you could take in the water and squeeze it and shoot water out of it. It was kind of cool. There was also a Gyarados. I had not a Gyarados, but I did have a Gyarados. I had a Gyarados beans in it. It was like that. It was like a stuffed animal, but it was really tiny. I also had a Golbat. I don't even know where those are at. I don't think that's in with my stuff. I don't think that survived my childhood. Because I played with it too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like a lot of my stuff I did play with a lot. Like my figures I played with a lot. But there's just yeah.
Let's go ahead and go through this. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and go through here. We're gonna keep going through this. And we're gonna do these as rapid fire as we can. Going through this. We got trading cards moved on, Pokemon Go moved on. I don't know how trading cards doesn't go past it. So
Yeah,
I'm saying trading cards.
It beats it. Yep.
Memorabilia versus Pokemon Stadium. I'm thinking memorabilia wins.
Mm-hmm.
Any disagreements with that?
No, memorabilia.
Okay. So we got memorabilia in the final four. We got trading cards in the final four. We have Diamond and Pearl versus Yellow.
Yellow.
Okay, cool. Because that's where I'm at. These got really easy, really quick. So Gold and Silver, you said beats Red and Blue. As someone who plays the games, I'm relying on you.
No. So here we can go either way, and I'm willing to do this. But because remember what I said earlier is Gold and Silver, you can go back to Kanto and run through that again, so you can run through all of that stuff again. So you can do both maps and catch all of those Pokemon. That's the reason why I think that. And also that's where I had the most I would say that was the game that I played hands down so much was Gold, Silver, and Crystal.
All right.
Because they're all three the same. If you see my map guide for that, because I had a guide after I played it, I got a map guide. It was my first one ever. The front 2 pages are ripped off of it because I used it so much. The front page is like literally it was my Bible growing up. Like I took it on whenever I went anywhere, I had my Game Boy SP and that. I had my Pokemon games with me, and that's what I played all the time. That's where I played on car trips. I mean, I played that game through so much. I got
it was just so much different back then too. Like that was just so much more of our like kids have tablets now and all this jazz, and it's a whole different discussion for another day. But like going through and like trying to like get the little worm light and like trying to play through and like
that's the reason why I loved my Game Boy SP whenever I got that, because it had that backlighting. Oh, it was like such a game changer.
Yeah. I remember getting the SP. I ended up having 2 of them. Unfortunately, sold it to your buddy Dan. But yeah, I think my brother had one, and I ended up finding one, and then I had one for Christmas. But yeah, that backlight, and people mod them all the time now. Like it's just a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
it'd be fun to do that to one of mine. It'd be fun.
I've seen some kits that are available. Not too bad.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you want to go
moving?
Nostalgic,
yeah,
Red and Blue wins. But if you're going fun gameplay,
all right,
you gotta go
let fun gameplay move on. You said it pretty strong with your gut earlier.
But also, like I know, but also Red and Blue, the hidden things in it, the missing number, not missing known, because a missing unknown is actually an actual Pokemon. In Gold and Silver, but Red and Blue, they have a missing number that you can. It's your number of, if it's number 10 in your item list, it becomes infinity. If you beat it or you catch it, it's a glitch. And then it's surfing up Cinnabar Island, like on the one side.
Cinnabon Island? That sounds sweet.
Cinnabar. Not bun, bar. Because like a sand bar.
I know. I'm hee
and hee. But yeah, that's the reason why it moves on. I think Gold and Silver.
So we got Gold and Silver versus Yellow.
Also, the remakes even blow Red and Blue out of the water too.
Okay, so what's happening here? We got Yellow versus Gold and Silver. Where are you at? What's going to the final?
Gold and Silver.
All right, Gold and Silver has made it to the final. Versus trading cards versus memorabilia. Now
Trading
this
cards.
one I think this one's the tougher one by a
It is
long
tough.
shot.
It is because it kind of almost in this, but trading cards just are. Trading cards are, if you're thinking of now, trading cards are where it's at.
I feel like
Memorabilia
that was
not as
still what I
much.
remember growing up though, was the trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I'm
trading
saying
cards
trading
moves
cards.
on. I like trading cards.
I think trading cards is hard to beat
It
because when
is.
I think Pokemon, that's what I think of first.
You think of cards.
All right. So does that mean we already know the winner? Is it what I think it is? Is it
You
gonna
think
be
it's
trading
trading?
cards?
I don't want it to be.
You don't want it to be.
I don't want it to be.
You think gold and silver for you is gonna be the winner. All right.
In my head, that's how I like it because I just love those games so much. And then when they recreated Soul Silver and Heart Gold,
Yeah.
oh man, it made me fall in love again with that series and that Gen 2 because they redid Leaf Green and Fire Red. It was just a redo of those games.
Yeah.
They were good, but they weren't like like you went from the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance. Not a whole lot of difference, right?
Screen was bigger. It was more comfortable in your hand.
Screen was bigger, more colors, whatever. But you went from Game Boy Color to the DS.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a huge difference, right?
Huge leap.
A huge step up. But whenever they redid like Diamond and Pearl, they redid Diamond and Pearl on the DS to the 3DS, thinking that not the 3DS to the Switch. You would think that would be like, holy crap, that's amazing. No, it tanked. It was not great. Graphics were about the same, but they redid.
The problem is Nintendo. Nintendo is really, really bad at constantly releasing hardware that is not as good with what else is out there.
But you had Arceus. They launched Arceus.
I mean,
They launched Arceus right after that.
Arceus was fine. But that's because you already had a roadmap. The roadmap was there for Zelda of how to do that type of game that would sell.
But why didn't you do that with Diamond and Pearl?
Don't ask me.
So that was like my thing that I didn't like. I was like, if you were going to release right after that Arceus, like, why didn't you just do that with you're like, oh hey, now how we can make more money? Let's do this, but we just make it a little nicer than what it was. Like, come on. But it was fine. But when they redid what was it, Ruby and Sapphire from it was a Game Boy Advance to the 3DS. Wow.
Big difference.
Way big difference. Gameplay was a lot of fun. Way big difference. And it was better than on the 3DS. So the Ruby Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby were totally different. Like the gameplay, like it was like you were being it was like still looking above, but like the people were like 3D. It was like Zelda, right? Imagine Zelda, but you're playing that on the 3DS. That should have been also what you were playing on when you had the Switch with Diamond and Pearl. Totally different. It was above view like the original Game Boy. Like you went backwards and you're on a newer system. That was my only.
It brings me to my next question. Do you know who owns Pokemon?
Game Freak.
They are one of 3. Who else owns Pokemon?
Nintendo.
Okay, that's 2 of 3. Nintendo is a third. Game Freak is who always makes them. That's them. And then one other. Do you know who it is? I doubt you'll get this. I really do. I doubt you'll get this.
I want to say because where the TV show was, I want to say Warner Brothers.
It's not.
Oh,
it's a good guess.
So,
it's a company called Creatures Incorporated. I've never. They used to go under the name Ape Incorporated.
Okay,
that was a long time ago. But they have been. But that's basically since '95 they were Ape, and then from '95 to present they've been called Creatures. But I think they helped develop video games and have done a lot of stuff like Earthbound, and
Earthbound's also a good game too.
it's a very expensive game too. And they've made Monopoly, but their bread and butter, and probably a big part of this is working with Game Freak, and they have also developed Super Smash, but they did a lot of, I think they're part of that like game development that worked in tandem with Game Freak. But yeah, that's the other company of the three, the tripod, if you will, that makes up who has any controlling interest in Pokemon, which makes sense why it's never leaving Nintendo. Makes sense why Game Freak always makes it.
And that's the reason why I'm hoping somewhere in Nintendo land, whenever they bring it to Universal, that there is a Pokemon land. I mean, come on.
I mean, it'd be dope. It'd be dope.
That would, I'd rather, if, well, I know like the diehard Nintendo people like, yeah, Mario's where it's at. No, I'd rather give me Pokemon. Like, give me that world.
I want both.
Yeah, I agree. But I'd rather have Pokemon.
That's fine. I still want.
I mean, the Mario Land is sweet whenever it comes to Universal, but I'm like, give me do a sub thing, dude. Give me some Pokemon, like where I just take this imaginary ball and I can go catch a Pokemon like randomly. That'd be sweet.
Okay, I got another random thing for you, and we'll end on this.
Sure.
Do you know there's an air on almost every Pokemon card ever made?
Yeah, I do know.
What is it? What is this air?
Tell the folks. It's how the Pokeball opens. It opens wrong. So the button. Also, did you know Pokeball started off about this big in the show, like really tiny, and they hit this button and it goes, gets bigger, so you can go catch your Pokemon, but yet you can have them on your hip and they're small. But where the button is, it opens with it down, like so it's like when it cuts in half. Yeah, so technically it should be up. That's the original. It opens up wrong, and
it's
now
crazy.
They're
this
officially
has been
switching
the back of the card since the 90s, and they're just like, oh, maybe we should maybe fix this problem that we had a very, 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 very long time ago.
Yeah, and they're fixing it.
It's funny. I just think it's funny.
Also, did you know I could tell you another thing about Pokemon. So, do you know who Cubone is?
Mm-hmm.
So, who's Cubone? Describe
He's
it
like the skull.
So people would know.
He has like a skull. He has he's always holding the bone in his hand. He's like a
Correct.
brownish color.
Yeah. Do you know the fan theory or just what's behind that, how he was created?
He ate another Pokemon and he wears a skull now. No
it's
idea.
A Charmander.
He ate a Charmander?
No, it's a Charmander that never got its flame lit from its mom because the mom died. So basically, that skull that he's wearing, the Cubone is wearing, is the skull of a Charizard, and the bone is also from the mother.
Is there any way to support that this is true? Or is it fan theory?
Fan theory, and then also if you look at the skulls compared and how they look similar, yeah, and how the skull looks, it looks like a Charizard skull that he wears.
I mean, I guess I could see it.
It's a fan theory. Also, other thing, do you know who Gengar is? You know who Clefairy is? Do you know who Gengar is?
Yeah, I think so.
The purple looks.
Yeah.
It's the Ghastly Haunter Gengar.
Yeah.
So yeah. Clefairy is. So he's the ghost Pokemon. It's the ghost of Clefairy. If Clefairy dies, it turns into. Yeah, they've also had that one too. And then also that one's cool.
You know, we need to figure out who won this tournament. Who won? You get to pick.
Yeah.
Who won?
Oh, it's Golden. That's Golden.
All right, Gold Silver. Okay, I just needed to make sure that we told the folks at home who actually.
It's
won.
Gold and Silver. I mean, for me, it's more for it's me.
You get to make your own decision.
Everyone makes their own decision.
I feel like you have a higher weight in this debate, so I'm giving you the Gold and Silver.
It's off of my own opinion. I know not everyone's gonna like what I choose.
This is what this is. You're allowed to have it. It's all right.
It's just if I had to pick, it would be Gold and Silver. And guess what? There's gold in it. So it gets the first
So
spot.
it gets the
And
gold.
there's also
It does-
silver, and it gets
so-
number 2.
So you're saying that no matter what, it was always going to be gold or silver for them?
Correct.
I hate you.
What? Because you don't like that I've actually pulled the same pun that you normally do?
Yeah. I like my own medicine,
Oh,
but I do
I
like
thought it
it
was
actually.
funny. No, but
Um,
that's what I had to pick. It's a hard choice between cards and that. But if I
It's
had to
close.
go just like true, I'm hoping there's like some Pokemon fans out there that watch this and be like, you know what, John? Psst, I get what you're talking about.
I'm
I
sure
smell
that
what you're stepping
I'm
in.
sure that one day, months from now, someone will drop in the
Years,
comments. Maybe this is how we
20
blow up.
years.
It'll be great. Who the heck knows?
I don't know.
But
But
until
I
that
mean,
day,
there's
we're just going to keep having fun.
yeah. And also, I know this is getting late. I could talk Pokemon all day. I
Yeah,
could
you
talk
could.
people's ears off about
They
Pokemon.
could.
But
Well,
yeah.
then, hey, if it gets well received, then we'll have more Pokemon episodes.
Hey,
I
leave
gotta do
comments.
more research.
Tell me who should actually would have won this if I was
Yeah,
wrong.
give us your
I mean,
opinion.
I'm
Drop it in
fine.
the comment. I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me who
curious.
your favorite Pokemon is, the reason why. Also, we could also do an episode about building your own team, like all time of like the
Team
original
Rocket.
100.
Sorry. Just Team Rocket. Blast off. All right. All right, man. Let's let the folks
Like,
get let's
surrendered
get the
now or
folks-
prepared to fight.
Wow, they are pretty cheesy.
Anyway,
Um,
on that note,
let's get the
yeah,
heck out of
well,
here.
on that note,
Thanks for
I'm
hanging
John.
out.
Yeah.
You're John. I'm Mike, and together we're Neely Schmidt yourself. Thanks for hanging out.
Peace.